Hello, I'm Liliane Grace, the author of this book, The Mastery Club. See the invisible, hear the silent, do the impossible. One day some years ago, I was watching my 9-year-old son and his friends dressed up in Harry Potter wizard robes and brandishing wands and declaring spells like Expelliarmus. And I thought, what if these kids knew they could do magic for real? I'd been learning about the power of the mind, universal laws of consciousness since I was a teenager. And I began to imagine a story in which a girl who was into fantasy and magic met a girl who'd been studying the power of the mind, and together they form a club to support each other in achieving their goals and their dreams. A mastery club. So I wrote the book. It's narrated by Natalie, who feels that her own life is really boring, so she escapes into stories of fantasy and magic, and into her life comes this green-haired girl, Nina. Now, Nina's lovable uncle and Nina together teach various principles to Natalie and her friends, including information about the mind and the nature of reality, and practical tools like goal setting, visualization, treasure mapping, affirmations. And we watch as these kids set goals, learn about themselves, and develop the character to tackle the various obstacles that arise along the way. A book for kids, you reckon? You're kind of right. I wrote it for 9 to 15-year-olds because I wanted to share the ideas that had inspired and empowered me with my children and other young people around the world. But I've been receiving messages from readers of all ages, even into their 80s. And one of the things they're telling me is this book is not just for kids. They're also saying they wish they'd come across a book like this when they were young, and that they believe every school should make the Mastery Club available to its students. And I've actually got hundreds of messages on my website in my database from readers of all ages, so that's children, teenagers, parents, grandparents, teachers, school principals, entrepreneurs, psychologists, people who are new to spiritual growth, and people who are long-time practitioners, all enthusing about the book and saying how easily and effortlessly they absorb the ideas. Some kids have reread this book multiple times, and in fact one life coach endorsed it on her blog saying she'd read it 9 times. 9 times! That's amazing. But it makes sense, doesn't it? Because storytelling is how we learn. Traditionally, storytelling is the best way to teach and to learn. And speaking of teaching and learning, I've created a set of sessions based on the 10 lessons that Nina and her uncle teach the kids. They're in the book. And they've been taught in several schools in Australia. I went back to do some follow-up research in one of those schools and found that a year later, those kids were still more confident, achieving more of their goals and going after more goals, and were also more resilient in the face of disappointment. And that's really important to me because you know what? It's not just a story. Sure, I wrote this book because I wanted to teach through an entertaining story, but I also wanted to inspire and empower real people to go after their actual goals and dreams, because life is so much more rewarding when we do what we love, isn't it? And it's not always easy. I mean, sometimes we set goals that are really hard and they don't even seem possible to us at all. The subtitle of the book, and in fact the motto of the Mastery Club, is see the invisible, hear the silent, do the impossible. So when we go after our dreams, sometimes we have to take our attention away from appearances and hold a vision of what we want to create. And because it's not easy, that's where a Mastery Club comes in, because you can give and receive support as you're going after your goals. As Ralph Marston said, the value of an ambitious goal is not in what it will bring to us. The worth of a goal is measured by what it will make of us in following and attaining it.